As I post, I'm JB and this is As I Collects, your destination for unboxing figures and gaming content. Today, I'll be showcasing my new Pokemon TCG Palette deck, Weelipedesssss, which focuses on Weezing to poison opponents and set up Scolipede with Arbok available for backup. Let's jump into some battles. Here, since we don't have any Whirlipede or coughing or wheezing, so I'm just gonna use Ekans and later on evolve it to Arbok for now. I didn't evolve it to Arbok because I'm confident that Ekans will not be taken out even if their Proaki evolved to the first stage Pokemon because it only has 30 damage. Here, I'm thankful that Easy didn't give enough energy for the Magikarp since the opponent already has an Gyarados for this next round, and I'm not sure why he didn't attack me. Here I drew coughing, so I'm thinking about if I should take care of the Fragagier with the Arbok or should I set up with the Venipede and hoping that I will get Whirlipede next round because the Gyarados EX is really intimidating right now because it can one-shot any of my Pokemon. I didn't draw Whirlipede on this round, but I drew Weezing and I'll attack with Arbok so that he can retreat Green Ninja to bring back the Gyarados EX on his turn. So I drew Whirlipede in this round, so I'll be able to evolve and set up the energy for Whirlipede. And I have Koga and Weezing, so I'll be able to poison the opponent next turn. So I'm thinking to take out the Green Ninja with Arbok in this round. And goodbye Arbok next round because Gyarados EX will be coming out. So this is the round now that I've completed Scolipede and be able to poison Gyarados with Weezing and then use Koga for this one and then attack with Scolipede so that I can bring Gyarados HP to like I think 50. Here, the opponent is taking a long time thinking their next move, and I think they need to buy time for the Gyarados or for my next move so that they can execute it, because I think they have still one Misty left on their deck or on their hand. So here I can execute the same thing, like poisoning Drudigon and attacking with Scolipede, because it will have a 120 damage. And yeah, for the next turn of the opponent, so we're just hoping that they don't get at least one head on the Misty, because it may be the root cause of our loss or a draw. So here the opponent drew Misty, and then luckily they get Tails, so the opponent conceded in this turn, so we got the win. In our first turn, we will use Pokeball and Professor X and draw as much as possible cards and then put them on the bench so that if they have a chance to one hit our Venipede in our active spot, we won't lose the game. In our next turn, we're gonna evolve our Coughing to Weezing and also our Venipede to Whirlipede, and we have a chance to attack the Blitzel and poison it on this turn. On our next turn, we didn't draw our Scolipede. So right now, I'm thinking if we should retreat the Weelipede and use Weezing, or just set up the other Venipede since it doesn't have any damage right now. And there's a chance that they can kill the Weelipede next round if they drew another Pokemon and then have a Giovanni, because they have already a Pikachu. And here on our opponent's next turn, so our prediction happened. So they rotate the Zebstrika and put in the Pikachu EX. Then they will use Giovanni because Pikachu will have 60 damage plus 10, so they can knock out Whirlipede. In our next turn, I'm thinking if we should use Weezing to attack Pikachu or just retreat it, because if they drew one Pokemon, they can one hit Weezing again. So here I will use Koga to retreat, and then sacrifice the Ekans on this turn. Our opponent's turn, they try to protect the Pikachu, so they didn't kill the Ekans in our active spot, and then instead they use Zapdos, and this gives us a time to set up our Venipede and Coughing again. So in our next turn, we're just waiting for the Arbok and Scolipede. So we will use Professor Oak, and then luckily we drew Arbok now, and then Weelipede. So all of our Pokemon are ready for setup. So we will evolve to Arbok and then attack the Zapdos so that they can retreat it, and it still have just 20 damage next turn because they only have just 2 energy. In this turn, we're gonna evolve to Scolipede, and then I'm thinking on this turn if I should use Arbok to attack, or should we use Scolipede so that we can get 2 points by killing the Zapdos. Because I think it's more advantageous if we kill Zapdos here, because we still have a room to sacrifice Arbok or Weezing for next turn, since we also have a Koga. And then even if they use their Pikachu to kill one of those, can still win it. Here I am thinking to retreat the Scolipede and use Weezing to poison the Pikachu, and still set up for Scolipede for next turn by giving it the energy we have for this turn. Our opponent's next turn, so if they don't have any Sabrina, I think we have a high chance to win this battle, because we can one hit any of their active or bench Pokemon by Scolipede if the target is poison, because it will deal 120 damage, which will happen on this turn, and then we will get the win. on our first turn, we're just gonna draw from our deck by using Pokeball and Professor Oak. And by the draw, we don't drew any Arbok or Scolipede. So we're just gonna set up our bench so that we won't lose if they kill the Ekans next turn. On our next turn, we draw Scolipede. So we're just gonna evolve the two benefits that we have since we have the two Weelipedes, and then use the Professor Oak. And then since we draw the Arbok, we will just evolve it and then take the point by killing the Snom. On our opponent's turn, they bring the Starmie and they have Giovanni, so they can one-shot Arbok here. So goodbye Arbok. And this turn, we drew two of our Scolipedes. So what I'm thinking right now is to bluff that we don't have any Scolipede, but I think it's much better if we evolve one of the Scolipede on our bench and then just use the active one to poison the Starmie, and then hoping that it wouldn't retreat it to heal the poison. And let's see what will happen next. On our next turn, we draw our Coffin, and I think it will boost our chances of winning for this battle since we already have the Weezing and Koga on our hand. The active Weelipede, I'm still not going to evolve it to Scolipede and just make it as a bait so that our opponent can think that they can just get point with this Weelipede and then set up the Scolipede on our bench so that it would be ready for the next round. In our opponent's next turn, so I think they took the bait because they moved the Starmie EX again to the active and trying to kill the Weelipede to get that point. So I think this win will be set in stone, just like I mentioned before, because of the Koga, Coughing, and Weezing that are hand, and the Scolipede is ready to attack also in our turn. So now I've showcased you how we use the Weelipede Arbok combo. So let me know your thoughts on the comment section on this deck, and hope to see you soon on our next video. Bye bye.